Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Hello, and welcome back to the Hookup on Music. We are back with episode 144 episodes we have done so far, and we hope to keep doing more. After a little bit of an extended holiday, we are back to bring you quite a lot of tunes. We're here to bring you a lot of fun. We're here to bring you just what's been going on in music all together. Again, my name is Tony B, and we are the Hookup on Music. So let's get started here tonight. Let's not waste any time because time is of the essence, as we found out. Actually, I found out this morning that the great Phil Campbell has passed away. You may not be familiar with his work, or you have been super familiar with his work. He is a very important member of Motorhead. He was the guitarist from 1984 to the band's disbandment in 2015 upon the sad death of the amazing Lemmy. But he also has other band, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, featuring his own three sons. Um, but let's get into him a little bit. He was born in Wales in May of 1961. He lists Jimi Hendrix, Iommi, Page. Um, Very interestingly, he met Lemmy at the age of 12 at a Hawkwind gig and asked him for an autograph. Um, by 13, he was playing in a cabaret band, but moving on to Motorhead, very, very important um, because of just how long he was in the band and of his importance to um, the band. Um, when you really want to dig into like some of his equipment that he used, he was a really big user of the Lag Explorer signature model, which he had fitted for two Seymour Duncan humbuckers, which is pretty interesting if you were into guitars. But also very interesting is just his output with Motorhead, which just loaded with lots of great albums. I'm starting in '86 with Orgasmatron, quite the title there. He put in what 16 albums, I believe, if I'm adding them correctly here. Yeah, 16 albums, which was very awesome. Bad Magic was their final studio album. Um, Digging into that final album that he was on, really cool. Uh, they did a cover of Symphony for the Devil at the request of Triple H, because Triple H used some music that Lemmy provided for him. So I guess he got to make that call. But going through some of the other albums he was on, let's just talk really quick about 1991's 1916. Um, it also was the final album to feature Phil the Filthy Animal Taylor on drums, who came back for a little while. He was the original drummer for the band, so he got to mix it up with who else but Phil Campbell. But Definitely digging into this album, which came in at only about 39 minutes, but hit hard. Um, but also produced by Ed Stasium, who had done the Ramones, Living Color, and even the Talking Heads. After a 4-year layoff, though, 1916 really got the band back into what they were looking for, with tracks like the one to sing the blues, No Voices in the Sky, Angel City, and Ramones R.A.M.O.N.E.S. That's pretty cool to say that all loud. But um, please, we can stay here forever and talk about Mr. Phil Campbell, who, as putting the notes together for the show, I was not even aware um, of his passing at all. So really sad. If you like Motorhead, like I said, dig into some of those albums that I was saying. You really won't be disappointed at all. Just like if you have not yet checked out this brand new album by Johnny Blue Skies and the Dark Clouds, Mutiny After Midnight. What a cool title track. Um, what a really just a cool musician if you really want to dig into what he's all about. He's got really, really good stuff going on. And everybody that just happens to tune into this new album, along with all of his other albums, just happens to be a really, 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 really big fan. But Mutiny at Midnight, though, is definitely an album that I had to dig into YouTube to listen to. And now, just recently, he finally has released a physical copy of it, but currently not on streaming. You currently have to really dig in to find this and be able to listen to it and really give it your all. It's a really good, interesting listen with music coming from all over the place. The lead off track, play it loud because you're going to know exactly what you're getting into with this Sturgill Simpson album. Also, want to say is that going forward here on the Hookup on Music, we're going to be on Saturday nights from now on. This is our time slot. I have finally nailed it down. Was talking about it on last night's at the show. If you haven't checked that out, go back and do that. But definitely Saturday nights is our thing. So welcome, welcome to the Saturday night jam session that I will be putting together. I'm hoping weekly. We got guests already in the tube. Mike, who's been on the show before, he's coming up. See what he thinks of this album. I'm sure he's dug into it. He's a big fan of a lot of good music. But Sturgill Simpson, though, really, really good stuff. But I like, and I don't want to say but like it's a bad thing, but you gotta try to find this album because he's decided not to put it on streaming to get started. Which, hey, I'm all about for some good old searching, and I bet the vinyl is really really cool. So dig into that and let me know what you think. Seven Dust is also lurking around the corner with a new album coming out soon. I don't know where I have been for a while because Seven Dust used to be one of my favorite bands, and then it was like I don't know if I just started listening to other stuff, and I want to be honest with you. I listen to so much music sometimes I forget about a lot of albums. And a band that releases 14 studio albums, I kind of wish a little bit more I had been around through the beginning, all the way through their new album, in which they're going to be releasing here um, very, very shortly. And we're going to be we're going to get the MO on this when it comes out. One, going to be really, really good. I've already heard a lot of the stuff on this album, which is really starting to shape up really nicely for the band. It's going to be released on May 1st. Is This the Real You is a really, really good song and an awesome video. Really makes you think. Lejean Witherspoon, lead vocalist, is somebody who always has a lot of awesome lyrics to say. And getting tuned up for a 15th album. I mean, going back to their very first album, I remember picking this up because of going to Ozfest and just honestly seeing how different they were from some of the other bands. Um, but their last album, Truth Killer, really again showed the expansion of the band. So the new album is one. It'll going to be out in May, so only about less than 3 years. So around 3 years since the release of Truth Killer, their last album. Um, but going on a little bit more, it's very cool to dig back into these guys. Okay, the first couple albums are great, and as I've been digging into the stuff that I missed, definitely first album, track one, Black, track two, Bitch, track three, Terminator, track four, Too Close to Eight, track five, Wired, track six, Prayer, track seven, Face, track eight, Speak, track nine, Will It Bleed, track 10, My Ruin, and track 11, Born to Die. If you're looking to get yourself up into a different stratosphere so that you can what's the word I'm looking for? Just appreciate all that is awesome in music. I would definitely add them into your what's the word I'm looking for? Into your playlist because that's not going to be won't be disappointing for you in what you're listening to and what you're trying to accomplish. Another band with quite a lot of albums, uh, Lamb of God just released their brand new album just yesterday, March 13th. Really, really good stuff here. I've never listened to a Lamb of God album. Pretty much the day it came out. The last one was sent to me to watch and listen to Omens from 2022, which had a lot of good stuff on it, but I wasn't quite there yet on this band. But again, this Into the Oblivion is really, really good and really, really heavy. Under 40 minutes, 39 minutes and 60 seconds. But Mr. Blythe, Mr. Randy Blythe, really, really lights it up. I mean, first four tracks, Into Oblivion, Parasocial Christ, Sepsis, The Killing Floor, and El Vacío definitely gets the party started. But if you're a fan of heaviness, this is definitely going to be something that you're going to want to dig into. Before they even actually got started, Sepsis, Parasocial Christ, and Into Oblivion and Blunt Force Blues all released, going all the way back to October 2nd was Sepsis. So I've been getting some picks into this. Sorry, a little parched. After not going for a couple weeks, you gotta keep the everything going. But back into this album, um, videos are awesome. Lyrics are really, really cool. Um, Again, when you're going all the way back to a band that when their very first album was called Burn the Priest, and now they're into the Oblivion, and they actually did something also that was very different. They switched up as they took their logo and they went and they revamped it, reformed it, reimagined it. So if you are a fan of Lamb of God, I definitely suggest you dig into this new one and let me know what you think. You could always leave them in the comments. Find me on the socials there. There's my name right under Tony B, Hookup on Music. But definitely let me know. Good stuff though, if you're into the every genre, a lot of good stuff coming out. Um, what else have I been listening to lately? Um, Honestly, I am somebody who is always kind of I liked Johnny Cougar Mellencamp or Johnny Mellencamp or whatever you are looking for to what's the word I'm looking for? To whatever you want to label him. Um but back to who he is, a lot of success in the 80s, a lot of songs, a lot of top 20 hits, a lot of songs that everybody is familiar with. Um, in the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2018, as I stated, he's going on tour this summer. So whenever I see an artist going on tour, I gotta dig into them, him, whoever it happens to be, her. It doesn't really matter because we like music, and I've been digging into John Mellencamp, which honestly, you would be shocked at how cool it is to go from something like a Lamb of God into a switch into a John Mellencamp. But songs like Lonely Old Night, Crumbling Down, Rain on the Scarecrow, definitely are awesome. Human Wheels is great. The cover of Wild Night is really awesome. And digging into more, we've talked about it, Get a Leg Up. We've talked about some of his great stuff. Um, Really, really, really needs to be appreciated to just who he is and what he is bringing to the musical whole entire genre as a whole. Um, Albums that just kind of go and last. Scarecrow is one that definitely has some really more of some deep cuts that if you again are tuning in for the first time, that's something that is one of my biggest things is the deep cuts. The deep cuts have to come from a place that lets you enjoy awesome music so that you can see a little bit deeper into what is on an album. And what is the deep cut that I'm going to go with here tonight is Justice and Independence 85. You've got to stand for something. That second half of the album is really, really awesome. Um, the halves of albums are really interesting conversation. What are some of your favorite second halves or first halves, or is there a second half better than the first half? Stay tuned to the channel here because there's going to be a draft coming up where we dig into that question right there, which poses to be very interesting. But Scarecrow is really good, and Mellencamp always really works with good musicians like Larry Crane and Kenny Aronoff, really laying it down here on Scarecrow, along with the follow-up to Scarecrow, Lonesome Jubilee. Always a great album title there. And Cherry Bomb is great. Paper and Fire, which is what we're going to zoom in here before we move on. The song kicks. It is definitely as a biographer named David Masciorna called Paper and Fire, a ferocious song that is an oral equivalent of a wild beast breaking out of its cage. I find that to be exactly what that song is, but it's a ferocious song um, that climbed up the charts, number one, top 10, all over. So hopefully he can dig into that one this summer, and that would definitely be very good and interesting. Um, uh, Gorillas are back, which is what I was trying to say before some scramblage went on. I think the gorilla cartoons were trying to enter into our stratosphere, but they did not, thankfully. Uh, whatever that all means. But their new album did drop back at the end of February, February 27th. An album called The Mountain was on, they were on Saturday Night Live a week ago, this past Saturday, and played a track off of the album, which honestly, I'm digging. I'm also digging because they've already decided uh, to go on an awesome tour. They decided to add a really cool clip of Dennis Hopper, um, a lead singer, Damon Albarn, went back into his treasure trove of tapes and found some really good old recordings of people who he had asked to come on, and found some really great dialogue of the great Dennis Hopper, which I thought was really awesome and interesting to get him involved in lots of different ways. But back to the track that they played on Saturday Night Live, the Moon Cave is one of the tracks off this new album that they played. Um, it's also pretty funny because they went and played another older track, one of their more famous songs that they've ever done. And a lot of people decided to complain about it, which I found to be interesting. When a band wants to play what they want to play, you should kind of just say, hey, you know what? Let them dig, let them cook. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got going for them. In this regard, definitely had a lot going for them in the style of awesomeness and amazingness. So, if you can go back and check out that Saturday night performance, I would definitely take some time to do that. Um, also, go back and check out a new documentary that just dropped on Amazon Prime. um, all about Paul McCartney and his days after the Beatles in Wings. Very interesting stuff. It's cool to see his vulnerability. It's also really cool to see the Band on the Run album take off. That's one of our favorites down here at the Hookup on Music, but a really, really good little piece that was put together and really worth checking into, especially if you're a fan of the Beatles or Paul McCartney, and that is on Amazon, Man on the Run. Um, Definitely a good piece to really get into if you're a fan of him. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Very just interesting stuff. You know what I mean? You really get the a lot of cool songs too that I wasn't really privy to, but definitely awesome and definitely something I wanted to share that you guys would definitely, I think, enjoy if you do have some time to sit down and listen to it. About 2 hours, 2 hours and 6 minutes, somewhere right around there. Um, wouldn't disappoint you or what is going on with that. Back to Kenny Aronoff, who's in this picture. He has played with the Bodines, and the Bodines are currently on tour and a band that definitely brings some really good stuff along the way in their shows is them. They really also are just very talented for lots and lots of different reasons. We've talked about the Bodines here before, but they're on the Love, Hope, Sex, Dreams, and Good Things tour, 40th anniversary. They're celebrating, which is a huge feat all within itself. I wish we can go on for 40 years, or I'm a part of anything that can go on for 40 years. Um, but the Kurt Newman definitely puts on just a really, 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 really good performance. And they've been lightened to roots rock. You can hear a lot of good, some of the more positive things that come from Bruce Springsteen. You can hear into the album, and everything about Bruce is really positive. There's no knock on anybody there when I said that. But he also, Newman builds and plays his own custom guitars coming from Stratocasters, but they have rear routed bodies, which is very interesting in their own right. Um, but cool to see this band be touring. Cool to just see that the Bodines are playing still after the 80s. Another band with just hands full of albums, you know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, they've got somewhere towards over almost 18 albums. Um, they've been releasing some albums for quite some time. WXRT plays a lot of them. Um, Love, Hope, Sex, and Dreams, their debut album, which is a play on what they're doing 40 years from now. Um, great album. Great album. Fade Away. What a really, 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 really good song. So if you do anything, and I know I've had to have talked about this song before, tonight or anytime on the show, take some time to go in and dig into that track and let us know what you think on that one. It's really good. And if you by chance happen to check them out at any of their tour stops, let me know what you think. I know they're coming to Hobart. I know they're coming to the Lacrosse Center. I know they're coming to quite a few different places. I'm just curious to hear if you are a fan of the band, what you happen to think of that tour. Um, Isley Brothers, Winner Takes All album, definitely something that you're going to want to dig into if you're into the really, 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 really good stuff. And what I mean by the good stuff is the stuff that, again, like we said, you got to dig into and you got to dig into deep. By 1979, Winner Takes All is their double album. Okay, their first and only double album, and a band who is releasing albums again at a breakneck speed. Um, Tracks side one and two, the first whole album side. long songs that jam. Life in the City and the Disco Night, Can't You See What You Do to Me, Winner Take All, Liquid Love, I Wanna Be With You Parts 1 and 2. Didn't say them in order there because you know why. I like them all so much in all scrambled in a row, whatever you want to give them to me. But tonight we're talking about some awesome, awesome albums and album sides. This is really it. Ernie Isley, Marvin Isley, Chris Jasper, Rudolph Isley, O'Kelly Isley, and Ronald Isley, made up of what is that? Five brothers and a cousin. Um, just releasing awesome, awesome, awesome tracks. If you get the vinyl on this one, you really won't be disappointed at all. Been digging more into Pantera Cowboys from Hell. It's probably their album I've stayed away from the most. I don't know why, but Domination hits. Cemetery Gates is just a great song. It's a song that I don't know why I used to ignore or even used to want to quote unquote not maybe because it didn't hold the heaviness of um what I was looking for in some of my songs. Um, but definitely needs to be respected is one of the great songs of all time. And the guitar playing of Dimebag Darrell is top, top notch. And Phil lets out some screams that I'm just shocked that they were able to get on record. So um, that definitely gets our 800,000 stamp of approval here at the Hookup is anything that Pantera or Dimebag is a part of. Goldfinger, talk about really cool album covers and a band that came out in 1994. Still touring too. You know, that's great. 30 over 30 years of putting out just awesome, awesome tracks. That's why we're gonna say here is we're highlighting the awesomeness. Still got a couple guys in the band who have been there for a long time since the very beginning, which is what it's not just the one guy. There's two guys, just two. Let there always just be at least two guys from a band that stay in it. But that debut album, 1996, is Goldfinger. Tracks like "Here in Your Bedroom" and "Mabel" blew up the Chicago radio stations, and I'm sure a lot of other stations around the country, based upon what I was reading. Um, Very, interesting also was the, front cover, like I said, if you're looking online or you just are listening, really cool cartoon, sci-fi, awesomeness. Follow-up album, Hang Ups, was really, really good too. That had a lot of just awesomeness mixed in. Superman was used in the film, Kingpin and Meet the Deedles, also in a Tony Hawk video game. Um but Goldfinger, like we said, needs to be respected, and they had such a cool, album cover, decided to use that as kinda like our central theme here on the Hookup on Film, so, definitely, dig into, more, of that if you, get an opportunity. Um, what are you listening to out there? We often say that, "What are you listening to?" Please, 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 please let us know. Um, Before we get to our last segment, I wanted to say thank you so much for listening tonight. Please stay tuned every Saturday night. I'm not back after every Saturday night. I've been abducted by an alien or I'm at an awesome concert. Those are the only two things that possibly could have happened for me not to produce a show going forward on Saturday nights. I like Saturdays. It's a very smooth day, not a lot of things. You don't have to complain about your work, nothing. Just a great fun time. Like I said, go back and check out the last couple at the shows. Been really good episodes, good soundtrack picks, talking about some good music, talking about good movies, good movie news. Check out Frame by Frame on the Sadistic Penguin Studios YouTube channel. Check out the James Bond show, more good music. Talked about Casino Royale this past Thursday. Going to be talking about Quantum of Solace. This next one, great song. Chris Cornell does a great job on his track for Casino Royale. So please, please tune into that. And before we head out, Yesterday we covered the Oscars, the music and the tunes that are going to be a part of it. And I have to say that we've talked about that Sinner soundtrack. I really think it really, really, really did well. Um, and going forward, we're going to take some time at this time every day of this show to dig into some film and some music and to kind of wrap it all up together because these are two really cool topics that really mean the world to me and should mean the world to you too. Because you know why? Music is everything for us. So I'm curious to see who you are going to be going for the best song for the Oscars. Going to be very interesting. Interesting to see who is going to get picked. Like I said last night on the show, we don't talk about them here, but K-pop Demon Hunters is quite the something else. But thank you so much, everybody out there, for taking the time from listening to us. Thank you so much for having a just a kind heart for sharing your awesome music knowledge with everybody when you get the chance. Because you know what, even if it's anything, we love listening to music. So thank you for again tuning into this episode 144. I am Tony B. Please take care, and we will definitely be talking next Saturday. So look out for what we got. Have a good night and a great week.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.